So in our last video, we made a men's ring with black diamonds in black titanium and with carbon fiber. In this video, we're going to make a matching woman's ring, and we are going to add diamonds to this black titanium, and we're going to do some special cuts in pavé setting on this ring. So here you'll see we're mounting the ring on this plastic mandrel, and then we are going to load it into this device, and this is going to allow us to secure the ring and hold it while we make all the cuts and prep it for stone setting. Here you'll see we're using a pair of digital calipers to measure the width of the ring, and then we are going to set the center of the ring so we can get a line right down the middle. All of this work is done under super magnification underneath a microscope. We're going to be setting very, very small diamonds that are only 1.5 millimeter in diameter, so we need to make sure we can see everything that we're doing. So now that I've marked the center line, I took the diameter of the stones plus a little bit more, and I am going to actually mark the spacing in between. So this is a really time-consuming process, but it's very crucial to get the exact layout of where the stones are going to go. As you can see, we line up one of our stones with the table down, and they fit right between those lines. And here are the rest of the diamonds that we're going to be using. These are black diamonds, and they're going to add a really, really cool and unique look to this ring after we blacken it. So this process is called cut down pavé. So this is where we take a solid band of metal and we're actually going to cut down with different burrs and cutting tools to actually make the setting. We're going to use the existing metal that's already there in the band to then set the stones and create the prongs. So you'll see we're taking our time. We do a smaller hole, and then we're going to cut a little bit larger until we get to the exact diameter of our stone. And the reason we're doing this is because sometimes you can drift a little bit with the burr and it's not exactly centered how you want. And if you remove a little bit of metal at a time, you can make sure that you get them exactly placed where you're going to want to set the stones. So here we're going to do a slight test fit just to kind of get an idea of how the stones are going to sit. And there you can see it's going to fit nice and snug in that hole. So we're going to still remove more metal because we don't want a ton of metal showing. We want to showcase just the stones as much as possible. So here we're using what's called a tapered cylinder burr, and this is made from carbide so that it'll cut into the titanium easier. But you'll see we're going to slowly remove that little middle section of metal between each stone. Then we're also going to remove a little bit of metal off the side as well, but then we'll come back later with a different tool and make some cuts called French cuts. So stay tuned for those. So now that we've removed a bulk of the metal, we're going to load the ring onto this different ring holder so that we can see the sides of the ring. Here you'll see we're using what's called a pneumatic handpiece. So if you can imagine, this is like a little mini jackhammer, really, really small. And then we have this carbide tipped cutter we're slowly removing metal away from the side of the ring. Because titanium is very, very gummy and tends to stick to the cutter, we're using a lubricant to help the cutting process so that those faces stay as polished as possible. So now that we've cut one side, we're going to come back over and cut the other side. And you'll kind of see this cool pattern that's emerging. There are these little peaks on the side of the ring, and this is traditionally called a French cut. And it just adds an extra flair to the stone and also opens up the side so more light can pass through and the stones really can shine. So we're gonna remove a little bit more of metal here between these prongs. So you'll see we're leaving these small islands of metal on the right and the left side of the ring. And those are actually what are gonna be cut and pushed in over the stone as prongs. All in all, this process is very tedious and takes a lot of different steps in changing the ring from one ring holder to the other and going in an exact order so that we get everything right. So here we're gonna add our first black diamond. So we're using a steel rod and we're just gonna push it right down into the setting so it's nice and flush. And we're not worried about this steel pusher damaging the diamonds. As long as we're careful about pushing it down and we're pushing just on the table and not the edge of the stones, then we'll be just fine. So we're slowly going to work our way all the way around the ring until we have all the stones added, and then we'll come back and we'll push those prongs over the tops of the stones. So here you'll see we have a tool that I made. It's just a simple wedge or splitter tool made from an old carbide ball burr. And what we're doing is we're using this to split those little islands into two little sections. And then we'll come back with a different tool, this tool right here, which is called a beading tool. And we'll actually bead the tops of the stone, of the prongs over the stones. And then after a quick polish, we have our ring ready to blacken and finish up. So all the stones are set, it's all polished. We're gonna give her one last clean, and then we're going to torch this ring with fire, and the metal is actually gonna turn black. And if we've done our job right, those stones will be set in there forever, and they're gonna have nice spacing and they're gonna sparkle really nicely after the ring is totally finished. So in this video, we are going to torch that women's engagement ring that we made and added the black diamonds to. And this is going to blacken that titanium metal and give us that look that we're going for. So here you'll see we're using a torch, but we're going pretty slow with it. We want to heat up the metal and the stones at the same time. Even though they're diamonds and can take the heat, there is going to be some slight expansion and contraction between the metal and the stones. And we don't want that expansion and contraction to be too drastic or extreme. And voila! So we torched the ring, and you can see the black titanium that we're using turned a nice black. It just really complements those black diamonds. Just a fantastic ring. The client is going to love it. And here's another look from the side at those French cuts that we added to this ring. Those really accent and complement those black diamonds. Jewelry is all about the small details. And because we did it just right, you'll see how amazing this ring turned out. We got the nice black titanium metal with those black diamonds, and it just looks phenomenal. Here's a couple more shots and angles of the ring, and it just turned out really great. Especially with those French cuts we added to the side, this ring just pops. Hope you enjoyed. See you guys next time.